Sorry, nurse, but are you shaking? Carla stopped applying the injection and realized that Mr. Antonio, 78 years old, was right. Her hands were trembling as he held her arm firmly, preventing the needle from wavering. At 45 years old, a nurse for 20 years, Carla never imagined she would be working 3 consecutive shifts to pay off her gambling-addicted husband's debts, and discovering that those abandoned patients on the night shift were her only source of strength in the last 2 years. Especially because, in exactly 23 hours, she would sign the divorce papers that would free her from that matrimonial prison forever, but would also mean abandoning Ricardo at the rehabilitation clinic. I've been tired for so long that I forgot what it's like not to be, she said, trying not to break down in front of a 78-year-old man. 3 years ago, when she discovered that Ricardo had lost the house gambling, Carla thought she couldn't bear another day. Dedicated nurse, 15-year marriage, planned future, everything destroyed in one night of online poker. The extra shifts were desperation, not choice. But something inexplicable happened. Each elderly person who smiled upon seeing her arrive, each terminal patient who asked for just 5 more minutes of conversation, each thank you, dear, on the night shift, made her feel something that years of stability hadn't provoked. True purpose. Nurse, are you going to stop working nights? Asked Mr. Antonio, with that unsettling wisdom that only elderly people have. The words from the morning devotional echoed in Carla's mind. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Isaiah 40, verse 31. What if renewing strength didn't mean leaving that situation? What if wings like eagles meant flying in the midst of the storm, not after it? Carla looked at the clock, then at Mr. Antonio, then at the other 7 patients who depended on her during that silent shift. In 23 hours, she would sign papers that would free her financially, or make the most painful and perhaps most courageous decision of her life. Mr. Antonio, can I tell you something? Carla said, pulling up a chair to sit beside the bed. When I graduated in nursing, I thought saving lives meant working in the emergency room. He adjusted his glasses, curious. But I discovered there's a deeper kind of rescue, being present when people need it most, even when no one is watching. Carla called Teresa, her older sister and pastor of small church. Hey, I need you here. Now, I have a decision to make, and I can't do it alone. An hour later, Teresa arrived with chamomile tea and that embrace Carla had known since childhood. Let me guess, freedom wants one thing, love wants another? It's more complex than that. Carla showed the divorce papers in her purse. The lawyer said it's a closed case. I can get rid of the debts, start over, have the life I deserve to have. But you discovered who you really are in these 3 years of struggle, right? Carla nodded. Remember when Dad used to read Isaiah to us when we were little? Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. I always thought it was about God fixing circumstances. And now I know that renewal can mean finding strength you didn't even know you had. These 3 years were the most exhausting and most fulfilling of my life. That early morning, Carla did something she would never have done 3 years ago. Prayed with Teresa, asking for wisdom to love in a holy way, not just personal protection. She asked for courage to trust that God renews strength even when it seems to perpetuate suffering. Lord, she whispered with closed eyes, Isaiah 40 verse 31 promises renewal for those who wait. But what if the renewal you have for me doesn't include leaving the situation? What if soaring like eagles is about staying strong in the midst of the storm? At 10:30 p.m., an hour and a half before the final deadline, Carla tore up the divorce papers. She called the lawyer, Dr. Marcos. I changed my mind. I'm not going to sign. Carla, you're making an irreversible mistake. Maybe, but it's my choice. Then she called Ricardo's clinic. Good evening, I'm Carla Santos. I'd like to know about the family support program for dependents. I have some ideas and, well, now I understand this is my place too. The family program had been evaluated and suspended due to lack of volunteers. Ricardo's bills increased with a relapse. Carla was in line at the bank at 5 a.m. with 156 Brazilian reals in her account and creditors knocking on the door. The phone rang. It was Dr. Patricia, director of a private hospital. "Carla, I heard you didn't get divorced." "How stupid, but I have something irresistible. Nursing coordination at my hospital. Special regime, 25,000 Brazilian reals monthly, functional apartment. But it's administrative work away from patients." The proposal was tempting. Own office, company car, premium health plan. In 6 months, she would pay all debts and have the middle-class life she had always dreamed of. "But there's a condition," Dr. Patricia continued. "It's an elite hospital. You work only with VIP patients. No social cases or SUS emergencies." Carla didn't sleep that night. She walked around the empty house. Ricardo was hospitalized again. Calculating. In a week, she would lose the apartment. Mr. Antonio had left a handwritten card in the nursing station drawer. "Thank you for treating me like a person, not a clinical case." "God," she prayed in the dark kitchen. Looking out the window, Isaiah 40 verse 31 speaks of renewed strength. "Where is it? I waited, didn't get divorced, chose difficult love. Where are the wings like eagles?" This time, there was no silence. Her phone rang. "Carla, this is the Ministry of Health, Special Project Sector. We received an impressive report about your night work at São Lucas Hospital. A 78-year-old patient wrote a 5-page letter describing how you transformed the geriatric ward. Can we talk tomorrow about leading a national pilot project?" On the other side of town, Mr. Antonio was posting on Facebook a photo of Carla with the night shift patients. "This nurse proves angels exist. Works 3 shifts, smiles at each of us as if we were a family. The health system needs more people like this." The post had been shared 12,000 times and reached the ministry. A year later, Carla was in a position she never imagined existed. National coordinator of the Comprehensive Night Care Program, a project to humanize hospital care during night shifts in 156 public hospitals across the country. The salary was fair, not luxurious. Ricardo had been clean for 8 months and was working as a volunteer in the program itself. When Mr. Antonio looked for her to show that he was teaching other elderly people to write gratitude letters to healthcare professionals, Carla perfectly understood what "they will run and not grow weary" meant. "Nurse Carla," said Mr. Antonio, showing a pile of letters, "remember when you asked me why I didn't sleep at night? I remember. You said, because nobody cares about us after 6 p.m. I changed my mind. Now I know there are people like you, who care precisely when everyone else stops caring. And that gave me hope to teach others to care too." That night, Carla received a call from Dr. Patricia. "Carla, the elite hospital closed. Investigation for negligence with SUS patients. You escaped a professional catastrophe." At home, Carla knelt in the same place where she had questioned God's plans. "Lord, thank you for not taking me out of the fight, but for renewing me within it. Your wings really make us fly in ways we never imagined." Isaiah 40 verse 31 manifested in the total redefinition of renewal. God's renewed strength included protecting Carla from a career that would distance her from the needy, elite hospital, and using her own exhaustion as fuel for a greater purpose. The 78-year-old man's letter became the divine instrument to open doors that no networking would open. God gave her wings like eagles, not the escape she had planned, but the ability to fly while carrying others. Carla evolved from someone who saw God as a liberator from difficult circumstances to someone who trusts in divine renewal even when it means remaining in difficulty. She learned that waiting on the Lord sometimes seems like human masochism, but always results in eternal multiplication. Her identity changed from overloaded nurse to restorer called by God. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Isaiah 40 verse 31. Sometimes renewed strength only comes when we stop trying to escape the battle and start trusting that God strengthens us within it. What easy way out is God protecting you from taking? What apparently liberating opportunity might be diverting you from God's strengthening? Isaiah 40 verse 31 is not a promise of escape, but of supernatural endurance. God knows the renewal your soul needs better than you know your tiredness. Will you trust His wings today, even when it seems you should be running in the opposite direction?